All right, back again, and my scene is all messed up here as I check out. Anyways, so hey everybody, I'm Sean from Gaming and BS Podcast. Tonight we are on session 3, technically, but it's the 4th because we had a session 0 of Mothership RPG, a science fiction horror tabletop role playing game. Done by Tuesday Night Games. Check them out on Drive Through RPG if you are so inclined. It's a great game. And we're playing with the party that is here that are, if you want to just go around quick introduce yourself, who you're playing, what kind of race, and your name. Dan, you want to start?
Yeah, Dirtless, Dirt One, the Psycho, but he hasn't revealed it yet, Android.
Jared?
Hi, I am playing Dr. Aaron Timms, who is a fine physician who is worried about the health of other people and also the recreational use of chemicals.
We do not condone the use of drugs here at Gaming and BS or any other place. Jim, you want to go?
Yeah, I'm playing Eric Lark, a Teamster, who has been the liaison with the ship that we can no longer talk with. So now, not all that useful.
He's wearing a red shirt.
Sorry. Mr. Goad?
I'm playing Ogda, the badass butch space marine with the what is it called? The pinup girl patch on her arm that she likes to flex. But she's also really into transcendental meditation. Hasn't had too many opportunities to take advantage of that useful skill yet in this game. But hopefully we'll be able to embrace some enlightenment soon.
I'm sure it's right around the corner. Literally, right around the corner.
Yeah.
Curtis, last but not least.
Yeah, playing Buford Cave Goka. Basically, he's a Marine, and his dump stat was intelligence. Oh, and also, not to be outdone by Ogda, he has his own patch. It's the red shirt symbol right on his chest.
How apropos. So thanks for joining everybody, including my awesome players. We are missing Jeff this evening, who plays Jackson Dane, which is a Teamster. So we miss you, Jeff, and I'm sure that nothing will happen to Jackson Dane this evening in your absence. Last session, to kind of catch up everybody and make sure we're all on the same page. So the crew and the players here this evening are all from the crew of the Profit Margin, Prophet, Profit Margin, due to Agda's zenness. And they came into, their mission was to arrive into a sector of space to rendezvous with the Alexis that is known as an archaeology spacecraft on a research mission to kind of rendezvous with them after not hearing from them for a little while. They arrived in the sector. Their jump engine kind of been kaputs. And then they realized that they've located the Alexis, though it seems to be relatively lifeless. They dock with the Alexis. They search through it. Some odd things are occurring. There's no life signs. There's some bodies and remains that doesn't seem to have any life forms on there. As they're doing that, they may or may not have come across a couple androids on the bridge, along with some other bodies. They go through, find something odd in the cargo bay, some type of statue figure of some kind. Sounds are occurring on the Alexis, and then as they are still kind of roaming around trying to find out what's gone on, then the Profit Margin is abruptly detached from the Alexis. Communication has been cut off as Eric Lark, as the captain's kind of number 2 on the away mission, tries to communicate with the Profit Margin, and they have been unsuccessful. Before that had occurred, there had been a lot of ships reported by the captain in the sector. There was talk about maybe investigating some of those ships, but the departure obviously was quite a bit more abrupt than that. And so they made their way to the bridge where prior to that, the androids were there, but it's a clean bridge. There's no sign of human bodies. The androids are gone. It's completely clean. They looked at some recordings. It looked like the recordings and the events that had occurred on their first trip to the bridge. The motions were there by the player characters, but yet there wasn't anything on the receiving end. So one example was, I think, Buford, you took one of the heads of the androids and you happen to have what appears to be a cantaloupe in a bag.
With eyes.
With eyes, yeah, looking at you. So upon realization of that, then there's something's creeping along within the ship. And as you look at the video, closed caption video, that there is something that's lurking down the hallway and has basically came up to the video camera, made itself known, and is alien in form and hisses at the camera. And that's where we left off, where the party's on the bridge of the Alexis. There's no signs of what had occurred prior to being on the bridge. And then there's an alien type of figure outside the bridge. So yeah, welcome to Mothership. Here we go. So as I am the warden and as the other word for game master tonight. And so I guess we'll pick up where we left off. What do you guys do?
Crouch down, SMG ready.
Yeah, I say we get this door open and start blasting at it.
I'd say we keep this door closed.
I'd say we wait and see if it's real or not.
All right. Well, Lark says keep the door closed. So I've got my gun on the door. We're keeping it closed. But if anything changes, I'm going to start blasting.
And I think Lark is going to look around for any other ways in or out besides the door.
So, Dirt, did you see what we just saw?
I'm still processing, but is something on the other side of that door?
Well, okay. Summarize what you just saw.
I just saw, according to the video feed, something pop up in the camera. And it looked alienish.
Is it still on the camera right now, Sean?
The camera goes to static.
Because, see, what I was going to say, now that you mentioned whether it's real or not, maybe those pathogens that I couldn't confirm might be in the air are causing some form of neurological deterioration in us, which is causing us to have hallucinations. However, if Dirt's seeing them, that's probably not the case.
You know, Dr. Timms, every once in a while, I've been running a self-diagnostics, but I get this tingling sensation. And I'm not sure if it's real or not. And so do not accept my comments as 100% validated to what you want to know.
Mr. Lark, sir.
Yes.
Please remember we are in vac suits, and in the ship, every window is an exit.
This is true.
It's a long way to go to get somewhere else, though, via window.
If needed, just bringing it up.
Usually, that's a good start. Exit plans need a little more development, but we'll keep that in mind.
That's a solid plan Z.
Yeah, and Ogden and I have lots of grenades.
How big's this room?
I cast fireball.
I have to get bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not all that big.
This might have been mentioned before. Did the rest of us actually see the android head that Buford's carrying around, or is he the only one that sees it now?
No, they did.
I think we all saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we all heard it too.
So we have some evidence that whatever we think we saw actually happened, even though the video doesn't show it now. Okay.
Even though I see it as a muskmelon and the rest of you see it as a head.
Right. Are we hearing any sounds outside of the door now?
It seems relatively quiet. Quiet. You cannot hear any noticeable sounds. The ship is quiet.
How big are the air ducts?
Usually they're pretty decent size. I would say a person that's hunched over could crawl through them comfortably.
Okay, where are they in relation to us?
If you were to kneel and stand, like kneeling straight up, you would be fine.
So there are air ducts that we could potentially get into?
There are, yes.
Oh, okay.
There are restrained death traps we could shove ourselves into.
Okay. I don't want to rule out the hallucination idea, since it is now quiet out there.
And I forget, have we done a scan of our ship to see what's going on in terms of life on our ship?
That's a good question. I don't believe you guys have successfully done anything to actually try to figure out what's going on with the profit margin.
Yeah. We came up here.
Yeah, we were going to blow the cargo bay out, and then we had the instance where we suddenly realized that nothing that we saw was actually recorded, and then the thing jumped up in the camera. So we have not completed any of our plans. We have started multiple plans.
There was talk of opening the hatches to the cargo bay.
Right.
Well, Buford and I can keep watch on the door while you guys all start working on figuring out what else is going on.
Okay. So, yeah, the two things I think we had in mind coming up here were blowing the hatch and scanning for the profit margin to see what happened to it. Since there may or may not be something outside, I think blowing the hatch takes priority. So I would like to try to do that.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, Dirt is going to hold on and tell everybody else, hold on.
Yeah, I want to basically open all of the internal...
This may rock the ship.
Internal and exterior ports, except for the door to the bridge.
Okay.
Well, in that case, why don't we just sit down in the chairs? They've got restraints, right?
So are you attempting to kind of probably get the computer up and running and trying to do it that way? Or?
Thought we had it running to some extent, maybe not full capability.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought we were almost ready to pull the trigger when we finally realized, wait, we may not have actually seen what we saw.
Yeah, so mag boots on, strap in. I don't think... I would imagine the door to the control room is, vacuum safe, but I didn't design the ship, so I don't know that for a fact, so hold on to something.
Yeah, I would say that you would know, Lark, that, given damage to the rest of the ship, that there are things in place that would keep the bridge safe as long as there's no breach. And it's got a pretty decent size door to it, access to the door. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, closing helmet, buttoning up.
Let's see. I've got computers, piloting, vehicle specialization for a different class of ship.
So you're attempting to vacuum the cargo bay? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
All of the internal doors and exterior ones except for the bridge.
Ah, yes.
I want to expose the rest of the ship to the vacuum of space.
I gotcha. So the doors, because you had to open many of them manually, it's going to be a little bit tricky. You probably want to try to bring the systems online first and see if you can make sure all the circuitry is up and running and you have enough power to be able to operate all the doors and things of that nature. So give me a computer check.
All right.
Is there any way to assist him in a computer check?
How would you assist, Dirt?
I would tell him that don't push the red button.
I rolled a 20, which is a success.
I will not assist him.
A 20 without you.
Are you sure, Dirt?
I'll be thinking about it, but
All right. So you have fired up the computer. You got a terminal up and running.
Okay.
You've tapped into some of the ship's systems. You would be able to try and accomplish what you're attempting to do for sure.
And quick question:
Yes.
before we do this, do we know what kind of impact this will have on the oxygen supply of the ship? Because if it's going to have a massive impact on the oxygen supply of this ship, we might want to see what's going on with our ship before we do this.
So life
that is a good
support is
point.
relatively damaged. There is a little bit of oxygen left in the ship that has kind of lingered around since it's gone dormant. I think Tim's might have been walking around without a helmet on and everything's been fine. If you do vacuum, that's going to be a problem. You'll deplete all the oxygen within the ship. You'll have to resort to environmental suits and vac suits. You could feasibly stay in the bridge for a limited amount of time until that oxygen depleted, if need be. But your vac suits are probably good for another hour before. Well, they're just good for another hour.
Okay. All right. Since we are that low on oxygen in our vac suits, that's a good plan. Let's try finding the profit margin or some other means of egress besides just floating in space.
Okay. All right. So who is attempting to try and figure this out? Just you, Mr. Lark? Sounds like
I'd say probably me or Dirt, either one.
I would still try to, assist her. Dirt wants to be involved. He wants to help everybody out. So he would definitely be. He knows computers, so he'd be at a terminal if there's another one available. If not, just assisting.
If I fail the roll, can everybody else check in order? Sorry.
There's a podcast I listened to about that recently.
Yeah.
I went off in Discord about that this morning. They're like, "Whoa, Sean, it's like 9
I
o'clock,
saw.
man. Why is it all getting all crazy?" And I was just,
Coming in hot.
I was just explaining about how the people that are in completely separate rooms always manage to want to do a skill check once they get wind of what's going on in another room. I've talked about you guys on the show and said you guys are just great players and would never do crazy stuff like that. So
I'm going to assume that was the part after we got kicked off of the podcast.
I'm taking everything you say at face value. Computers, I guess?
yeah, please.
Yeah, specifically looking for the profit margin, but I'll settle for anything that looks like it would
Fair
support life.
Anything that moves.
All right. Just barely a failure, 52 out of 47.
Okay. You come across the profit margin. It seems to be drifting off away from you towards the surface of the moon of this system. And
I did fail.
Yes, you did. So
Okay.
you can obtain where they are relatively located, but anything further, you're trying to get up comms, it's not successful, and you're not
Okay.
quite sure of their specific situation.
All right, I'll let everybody
job,
else
Mr.
know
Clark.
that. Looks like the profit margin's drifting towards the moon. I'm not able to raise them, though.
Would it be would there be a separate link beyond the comms for monitoring the biological data?
On the profit margin?
Yeah.
I would say if you ran a particular scan, potentially.
Basically, I just wanted to see if I could get tap into maybe my database back in the med bay to see if it's reading life signs on the
Set up some kind of data link?
yeah, basically just not even super in depth, just to see I'm assuming the med bay probably has just general monitoring. Oh, there's this many people and
Sure.
nobody's dead.
I wasn't able to get much besides their position.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to try, do you have hacking, Dr. Timms?
Why, no, I don't.
Do you have computers?
No, I don't.
Okay.
You know who did?
Does it appear that the profit margin is being pulled towards the Earth? I'm sorry, towards the moon by its gravitational pull, or that's just the direction it happens to be floating in?
Lark, you would determine that it is drifting towards the moon in a peculiar manner, something that would not be under its own propulsion.
Okay.
Something else is acting upon it. But you're not.
If I could access a terminal, I would like to see if we were kind of following that same trajectory, or if we're still orbiting.
Okay. The ship you're on, the Alexis?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Alexis.
Yeah, go ahead, Dirt.
Yeah. A 5.
A 5.
Yeah.
As far as you know, the Alexis was pretty stable. It wasn't in a tailspin of any kind. It seems to be in its own little orbit. Also, Lark, when you attempt to do that, you do see other ships that are in the sector more than you may have realized before or was conveyed to you from the captain. They seem to be all derelict ships kind of floating. There doesn't seem to be lights from them of any kind, but just the glow and reflection off of the moon and from the nearest star. You can visibly see some of those, and even through the use of computers, realize that there's kind of some blips on the radar, if you will, of those ships in the system. But getting any more further data would refer some mechanical repair on the Alexis.
Okay.
Are we talking about like a number of blips that you can count with your hands?
At least.
At least.
Yeah. I mean, you could even physically
We
look
see the
out a
ship from the window.
porthole. Yeah, and look out a porthole, and you could probably, like, that's odd. Like, there's a ship, there's a ship, there's a ship. There's off in the distance, you can vaguely make them out, given the darkness that is space. But
Is it more than Gupka could count without taking his boots off?
Okay. So,
which is very odd. You don't typically. I mean, it's not a special sector. It's not a spaceport. So having these ships, the amount of ships in this area, and not having complete chatter across all kinds of communication spectrums. Not that you've had a lot of access to that, but it's just strange, and that's a major reason, Lark, you would conclude that the captain didn't make it a huge deal because they were kind of off the grid for the most part when you first arrived. Not to mention the profit margin had its own things to deal with from coming out of jump so abruptly and the drive going offline.
right. Okay. So,
Yes. Speaking of the
no, go ahead.
speaking of the porthole, can we see the profit margin from where we're at?
You can. It's off the distance quite a bit. Lark probably had a little bit
Anyone have a set of binoculars?
more.
I
of
do.
a- Dirt has a set of binos.
Yes.
Oh my god.
But I don't think that'll work through the window. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think it was more of once I knew like the heading to it, I can point it out to you.
I was hoping we could see someone through the windows.
That's way far away.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like
Session
looking through
zero.
a window of an airplane.
Session 0, I made it apparent
Yeah.
that I had binoculars.
No, that's fine, Dirt. I trust you.
And while Buford and I have been standing here with our guns and grenades pointed at the door, have we heard any suspicious sounds, or has it just been total silence since the cameras went off?
You hear the banter behind you. That seems to kind of throw things off a little bit. You don't hear anything outside the bulkhead door.
Okay, so
Do
we're
you have
going to
a-
need air very soon.
Yeah, you got an hour.
Well, it's going to take us more than an hour to figure out
Well-
a way to get to the profit margin.
So did you actually vacuum, Lark?
I have not yet.
You held up,
because,
right? Yeah.
Right.
So you have a little bit more air within the ship. I mean, it's not. I mean, when you arrived, nobody vacuumed the ship. Therefore, the oxygen that's in there is kind of left over. Life support is out, but whatever lingers is still there. And it's a
Right.
fairly decent sized ship. I mean, it's not a shuttlecraft, so there's a little bit of oxygen for, 5-6 people to breathe, even outside of your vac suit before it's
Okay,
gone.
now when we were hearing the screeching and scratching noise before, that was being transmitted through the support members and such, right?
Yeah, you could hear it vibrate through it came through like the ventilation system, and you could hear it scratching the metal. It seemed to screech out loud, and especially when it came on the video, it seemed to even heighten the audio.
Okay, I placed my head against the door and see if I can detect anything moving.
Okay. As the cabin goes silent and you do that, so everybody kind of looks at each other, computer's there's a little dim light, becomes quiet in the bridge. Buford puts his ear up against the bulkhead door, and you hear a long scratching sound as if there were fingernails on a chalkboard coming down the steel door.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, but it sounds like it's at the door.
Sounds like it's at the door as far as you can tell.
How many?
And everybody tends to kind of get a little bit of hearing of that. Buford, you more so than others. Agda, same.
How many ventilation system access points are there in the bridge?
One.
Just one. Okay.
One. Okay.
Is there like a maintenance craft that might have like thrusters or something on it?
A maintenance craft. There's a couple lifts in the cargo hold. I think we mentioned it before. You get in there and could lift like pallet jack, super pallet jack, robo, cargo
Exoskeleton
mover.
thing.
Yeah, exoskeleton
and-
thing.
Basically, yeah, I'm directing this more at like the people that would know this type of ship, not so much because
Like a
I would
lifeboat
know.
kind of thing.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. If we could get to that and then maneuver back to say the profit margin.
Yeah. So I think our options are that finding some more air tanks for our vac suits and just EVA or fixing this ship, but one way or another we need to get away from here, and I'd rather not be on this ship, to be honest.
Well, Mr. Lark, I can turn the air off on my vac suit and save it for somebody later.
I'm just amused that you've been using oxygen this whole time.
He like breathes it in and then it comes right out like another
good.
hole. Like
If I recall correctly, there were more vac suits down in the cargo bay with the creepy art project.
Yep.
So this might be a silly question, but looking out the porthole windows into space and looking at these other ships that are floating around, do any of them have any visible signs of occupation? Like, are there any flashing lights or anything like that? Or are they just like cold and dark?
So there are some that are very cold and dark. They're obviously, obsidian black against the horizon that you see out into space. And then every once in a while you'll see a ship and something will flicker with inside, maybe a small glimmer of light. But there isn't much occurrences of, there isn't anything well lit up. There's not like a Christmas tree ship where different lights on the outside are illuminated. So most seem to be very derelict. You might even get flickers from some. You can't tell whether it's from the position of the ship and it's moving, just because of the distance and everything. Kind of warps your perspective a little bit. But nonetheless, it's hard to say whether any of them have any life signs on them from where you are located and viewing it from.
And does the profit margin look like it has more signs of life than that, or is the profit margin looking about the same as those?
So the profit margin does seem to have some type of systems going on. They're not dark, but they are, something's going on. There's the movement of the ship is not conventional, and it's it's almost as if it's being pulled some way, and it's trying to fight that, but it's losing battle. So you could see some thrusters kind of moving on, and then the ship might canter one way and then go another, and it's this like weird force upon it that's more geo than anything, right? But it's not dark. You could see some visible lights even on the external side of the ship. You could see lights kind of lighting up sides of the hull, and they flicker on occasion because of the power that's trying to be what you would guess routed to particular systems to combat the force that's acting upon it.
Are you thinking like EVA to another one of these ships that might have power and no monsters?
Well, if they're all looking darker than the profit margin and pretty dark themselves, I'm guessing they're probably not doing so well either.
Okay.
So, Lark, and I'm going to pull out a box from my pack and set it down and say, I don't know if we want to use this, but I don't know if we don't want to use this. I brought an emergency beacon.
Dirt will pick it up and is like, this looks like an emergency beacon. And I think we should hold on to this until we can actually maybe launch it into space or something.
But then people
I think
will
the profit margin knows.
Right. Well,
I think profit margin knows we're in trouble.
I think we probably want to set this off. But so we have a pressing issue here, and that is we are going to run out of air in less than an hour. That thing can just wait us out. We have to get out of this room. Right.
Well, see, what I was thinking was maybe someone will respond from one of those ships if there's anyone left on there.
That's true. We could certainly try to hail them.
We can. We need to have a plan for if it might take them more than an hour to get to us.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we know we have this as a resource.
And if we get off this ship, we don't know that thing's also not getting off the ship, or if that thing is also on those ships.
Say, Mr. Lark, does the ventilation shaft for this room connect with the hallway outside?
Normally I would ask Jackson Dane, who had a schematic of this ship.
Well, I have a schematic.
Okay. Yes, somebody has a schematic.
You took it off his body?
He's napping.
He's passed out.
He transferred it to me. He's
all tuckered out.
He's tired right
he
now.
He fainted. He saw the creature in the monitor, and he was like, "Oh!"
Aw, little guy.
Boom, thud, just
water.
like right on the floor. Bam! Nobody reached out to catch him. You're just like,
Dr. Jim, get your smelling salts.
Stick them in his vac suit.
You mean my stems?
So we do have a schematic available if it shows.
Yes, we still have the schematic of the ship.
Alexis.
Okay, Dirt.
But-
Well, I'm thinking that what we could do is we could go.
Hold on, Buford. Profit margin. This is
He wants to know
the
what
team
we're
on the
playing.
Alexis.
Been hit. Going down. Controls.
Captain?
not malfunctioning, unable control.
We have to make it to the profit margin as soon as possible, if available. They lost control of their ship.
Am I able to see what their position is? Have they crashed into the moon or something?
They have not crashed. They seem to be floating in space.
And
Well, they
said we
just
were
tried to
hit.
raise us.
Like has like
Creepy
What's-
dirt. Creepy dirt. And then as you're looking outside of the porthole or even on the computer, you can see the profit margin going towards the surface of the moon in a manner that seems to be completely out of control, and they get smaller and
did your
smaller
audio go
and
away,
smaller.
Sean, or is that just on my end?
Yeah.
I lost your audio too.
I lost him too.
Yeah,
Hello?
your audio's gone. Oh,
Now
no.
I can hear you.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, we can see you now.
Well, that's weird. Must have pretty
Apparently, you
big,
just did something so horrible that Twitch wouldn't allow it.
it's a pretty big hic.
Twitch blocked you.
So as you look out and you're right, kind of monitoring things, and even as the Marines look out the porthole, you could see the profit margin just tumbling kind of out of control towards the surface of the moon, and it just becomes like a smaller and smaller dot, and you're not quite sure what's going on. Then all of a sudden, it
Yikes.
seems to be out of sight.
I do not think that's feasible to save the profit margin at this point in time.
I was more hoping they could save us. If I'm being real honest.
We've only got a couple hours up here.
Yeah. Okay. What order do we want to do this in? Escape this room, set off the beacon, find more air.
Dirt will shut
Yeah,
off his oxygen supply at this point in time.
Thank
At the
you.
very least, I think
Yeah.
if our plan is to get on a different ship, then maybe we should go ahead and F the oxygen on this ship and get whatever that is that's on our ship off, just so that it doesn't follow us.
Good thinking.
Okay. Yeah, and like I was saying before, if the air vent connects between this room and the hallway, Ogda and I can go through the ventilation shaft and get behind whatever it is scratching at the door and paste it.
You want us to do it, Lark?
Well, first I need to hear if, does the ventilation shafts connect with the hallway?
Sean?
The ventilation shafts. There is a parallel section that runs the length of the hallway.
And it has an access point where we could hop out into the hall and blast this thing.
Yes.
Okay. If you're
Hey,
going to do that. Oh. Tim's?
And then all of a sudden, Buford, as you're standing at the door, you hear this smash on the door. Bang! 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 And it's just the vibration comes through the bulkhead door.
Awaiting order, sir.
Hey, Buford, take your glove off for a second.
Should
Okay.
we let him in?
I'm gonna hit Buford with a stem.
Okay. In that
Okay,
case,
thanks.
if the Marines are going to go through the vent and try to get behind this thing, the rest of us should probably try to hide and not be directly behind the door, because this thing might get through, and if it doesn't, the things they are shooting might. I also have a laser cutter, and I don't mind trying to hit it with that.
Holy crap!
All right, so it seems like our orders are to go through the ventilation ventilation duct. So Ogda's going to go ahead and screw off the cover and hop on in.
Hey, Buford, before you go, that stem,
Yeah.
gave you plus 30 to your strength and plus 7 to combat
Good lord.
Oh, cool.
for the next
Plus
hour.
30. Okay, what was that? Plus 30 to strength and
Plus
what was it?
7 to
What was the combat.
7.
Plus 7? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
as opposed to the plus 10 I gave Ogda.
Yes.
Okay.
But mine lasts
Oh, yeah.
2 hours.
Here, Doc.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you might want one of these too. And I hand him a grenade.
All right.
Plus 30 strength. It
It'll-
might want to
it might-
wrestle.
it might be better than that pea shooter you've got.
Okay. So the rest of us that are staying in the bridge, like, get behind something. That's the best advice I can give you.
All right, Agda, who's going to rip off the vent?
Okay.
I
Or
will.
Buford. All right. You guys take a crowbar, pry it into the metal.
Okay.
Yeah, and then climb right on up.
Buford's all juiced, so he just puts it in there half-ass,
I'll
pops
show you.
it, kind of comes off halfway. He grabs it, rips it off, goes flying through the air.
Buford's probably got veins sticking out all over.
And then there's an open tunnel.
Start crawling through with a grenade in my teeth
Yep.
and my gun at my side.
You hear the
Right. So our plan is probably to go down to the shaft, open the other end, and toss grenades out first.
I think grenades are going to be a last resort.
Okay.
Yes, please.
You got a bulkhead door. It probably won't penetrate.
So we're going to go ahead and climb down this shaft and then hop on out into the hallway and start blasting. How does this
plan.
work for us?
I love this plan.
So do I. What could go
Bang.
wrong?
Bang!
We got
You
plus
can
5. We're fine.
Hear something screeching, like metal on metal, as it like crawls down the door. Scratch.
Okay.
And scraping. You echoes through the bridge, and you, Agda and Buford, hear it vaguely behind you, coming through where it seems a little bit quieter as you enter the crawl space. And you go down approximately, not too far, probably 20, 30 feet. And you notice that there's another vent. It's one of those that's kind of got the fins that point down. It's not an open, gridded vent. And you know that goes right into the hallway. And you can, as you get closer to that, the sound gets louder from that angle into the tube.
I'm assuming the screws are on the other side, right?
Yes.
I think you can tear a hole open.
I've also got an electronic toolkit. Will that help me quickly get out of this?
Yeah, you could attempt to take the toolkit and see if you can remove the vent from the inside.
All right,
Sure.
I'm going to do that.
I would say you will want a mechanical repair may do the trick with a And if you have a
Is that gonna
toolkit,
be-
I will do advantage on that.
Is that going to be intellect or speed based?
Oh, intellect.
Okay.
While this is going on, I am keeping my laser cutter pointed at the door
That's a fail.
in case it starts getting through.
Failed. You thought, I've got an attachment. And you like try to put it on the screw, and you're like, bzzz, and it just kind of spins around. You're like, shit. Son of a bitch.
Okay. I kick it out.
Hey, there you go. That's that sounds like a strength check, right? Like pure muscling it.
Okay. Do I have advantage with this one or no?
You're kind of in a weird position.
Okay. And do I get military training added to this?
Military
If he makes his
training?
tattoo dance.
If you give me a viable, like, this is how military training would allow me to open this vent or kick it open.
I used to do something like this in boot camp all the time.
Fine. Okay. We'll say that you are used to close quarters combat, breaching doors, and therefore you're going to lean back and give her the two boot scoot. So
Alright.
you can use military training, but if you do and you succeed, you will be kind of pressed up against the opposite wall of the vent. So if you kind of boot through, you wouldn't be able to kind of shoot through the vent. Buford could.
Okay. Success.
Okay, so Agda, like, I think I've seen this. I think I've done this a few times. Boom, and you blow it. Both boots hit square on. Thing kind of folds up like an aluminum can and blasts out into the hallway. Buford, what are you going to do? There's an open hole to your left.
Jump through. I'm jumping through.
What are you doing, Marine?
Jumping through.
All right. You jump
I'm going
through.
for it.
You're in the hallway. You look to the
Okay,
left.
make sure I cover the direction that the door is in.
Yeah. You look to the
Yeah.
left where you would suspect this thing to be, and you see an emaciated, tall. I think I mentioned this on the last one, but let me just reiterate what you view. It's leathery surface, tall. There's a series of grasping claws that protrude from its torso, or what you think is its torso, or kind of midsection. And the face becomes a mouth, or some kind of resemblance of a mouth, with its long kind of appendages reaching down towards the floor, but at this point is actually scraping at the door. Go ahead, Buford. You got the drop. What are you gonna do?
Shoot it.
All right.
Using my SMG.
Yeah, first
Shoot on this
combat. All
bastard.
right, it only took like 3 sessions. All right.
And then I'm going to start shooting at it too.
Okay, fair enough. And then Agda, you could just like boom, and then you kind of bolt forward on the floor out into the hallway. So you are kind of low, and Buford's kind of high.
All right.
Shooting the Marines from the Marines. All right.
Okay, 51 and... Ooh, that's a miss.
So I rolled
That's a big
a
miss.
51 for my combat check, which is a success. Agda,
I'm
what'd you
meat.
roll?
87.
All right, Buford failed.
Okay. I'm going to go.
Yep, out of 51, yep.
So I would say you both surprise the creature for sure. So
I succeed. I critically succeed. I got a 33.
okay,
Woohoo.
nice job, well done. So Buford, you would be able to, I think, still go, given the fact that the creature, the alien, is surprised.
Okay.
Actually, I did succeed. I rolled a. So you roll a speed check. Fine, no problem. Surprise. So I will do a fear save, I believe. I don't think so. Okay. All right, you guys have the drop on the creature. So go ahead and you're going to shoot stuff at it.
Yeah. So I have a critical success.
Okay.
Remind me what that means.
So a critical success. Attacking
Combat, it means
damage. I don't think it's on the fast chart. So it's our first combat, ladies and gentlemen. So we kind of got to set things up. So bear with us. And I don't know if anybody in the chat would actually know.
I thought you ran this before.
I've never run
I have.
Mothership before. Jeff has. They never saw combat in Jeff's game. They just all got killed.
There was a lot of wings,
those checks.
and I don't really remember.
Critical hits beat regular successes.
I think it's just succession or like what succeeds over what. Damage.
So
Nobody told me there'd be reading.
I don't know. Some weapons do, Jeff.
Some weapons do what?
I think on the weapon itself, if you roll, you may have special. So like, see, I'm looking at weapons right now. What do you have?
SMG.
collapsible stock. I was just thinking that some weapons may have some critical. Like if you roll a crit, it can do something special. But I don't see it.
All right, so am I just rolling damage?
Yes. Feel free to roll damage.
24.
24.
Oh,
Let me know if
I
you
don't know if
find
it applies to monsters.
Just says that
It is a critical
Really well.
success, or if you take more damage than half your max health in one hit, you'll need to make a panic check. I don't know if that thing makes panic checks.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to panic too much at this point. It does hurt. Screams out, screeches. Ah! Ah! And at that point, turns and looks at you. It's very, very wounded.
Is it bleeding?
You're not sure. Something comes splashing out of it, but you're not. Hey, as a Marine, you can only assume it's blood.
Is it red?
Of course not. What kind of alien has red blood, Dirt?
The red shirt one?
It's yellow. Yellow goo.
yeah. Dirt, don't forget, we got body cams. You can see all this.
That's true, actually. Yeah, good point.
I'm actually projecting it up onto the wall that we're all watching while you guys are out there in the corridor.
Love it.
Buford, what do you do?
That's very helpful.
Oh, you failed, right? You failed your shooty.
I'm sure. Yep.
Are we going to second round?
I think Buford rolled speed. Buford the first time, correct? But he was
that-
surprised, which we didn't really need to
yeah.
deal with. So
Was I supposed to roll speed?
Yeah.
no, because you surprised him, Agda.
So I'm sorry, what's happening now? I'm confused.
Buford's up. Well, I'm sorry. Next, we'll go to the next round, Buford, because you rolled like a 60 something, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought
Yeah, first round, Buford missed.
80 something. Yeah.
So roll speed.
Both of us?
Yeah. He got a 95. So I failed.
27 out of 37.
So I failed. Buford won. Agda, would you roll?
Fail.
Okay. Buford, you can go.
Okay. And. Oh, 02
Nice.
Okay.
on combat. So. That's just when you're 40. 10.
I rolled a 63, so I think you won.
Oh yeah, Sean, you don't need to roll speed checks.
I don't.
You don't, because whoever succeeds their speed checks acts before the monsters, and whoever fails the speed check acts after the monster in that round.
That's correct. Why do I have speed then?
I'm sure there are other times you need to roll it, but not for initiative.
I gotcha. You're right. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. 15 points.
15 points of damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, critical successes give you. Oh no, that's only on the speed check. Never mind. That'll give you an extra action if you could succeed on your speed check.
Gotcha.
Sorry for interrupting.
No worries. Okay. Yeah. You. What are you using, Buford, to shoot this thing?
SMG.
SMG. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You put a bunch of rounds in it. It's plastered up against the wall. It's obviously quite wounded, but still alive. Speed checks from you two yahoos one more time. Oh, actually, he gets attack on Agda, right?
Yeah, now it can attack, and then I attack.
I think I failed though.
You
Well,
shouldn't
I
do a
don't have
speed
to.
check.
I don't have to go.
Don't do
That's
a speed
right. That's
check.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Exactly. So Buford goes first, then the monster, then me.
All right. Then
this round.
I am.
Did anybody else just pull this up on?
Yeah, you guys are seeing this probably from inside the bridge. And it seems like Buford and Agda are okay, and now the creature looks at both of them and give me a strength. Oh, nope, he's just gonna do. Hold on a second.
I would like to motion to everybody else in this room and say, hey, should I open up this door and we attack from this side?
Take 14 damage, Agda.
Oh,
Not yet.
I'm not
What
sure we
just
would
happened?
end up.
Your brain just. You've got this massive migraine of a headache of some kind that just, for whatever reason, like pulls your brain apart.
well, I don't like this at all, so I'm going to start shooting it again.
Fair
I
enough.
succeed. And I do
So this
30 points of damage.
30 points of damage. Yeah, and you it just like loads them up full more of lead. Yellow goo gets splattered all over the door, and it slumps down onto the floor of the ship, motionless. Inside the bridge, you hear silence all of a sudden. It went from screeching and screaming and machine gun fire to nothing.
Okay. And we were watching it, and I kind of missed it. Agda get injured?
Yeah, I took some brain damage.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to make sure this thing's dead. I'm not pumping another few rounds into it.
Agda, you are at minus 5% strength and speed.
Hey, I don't like that.
Ouch.
Okay. As soon as the gunfire's over, if Buford's still shooting, once that's over, I will open the door so Tim can get out there. And assuming, Tim's, that you would like to help out Agda.
Yep.
And then give me a sanity check, Agda.
Okay.
She basically probed your brain and gave you a big ol' hemorrhage.
I barely succeed.
Okay.
You got a 22 out of 25.
Then you are
that's
fine. Your brain, your
Does a crit
mental.
succeed lower stress by 1, or does that not do anything?
Crits?
Because I got a 22 on my sand save.
Oh.
I might be making that up.
I
Success on a save.
Sounds reasonable.
Rolling a critical success could mean a wide variety of things. On a sanity save, may grant some further insight into the strange, horrific artifact you've encountered. Or in the case of an armor save, give you a chance to counterattack.
So do
All
I
of
get
these
some
cases
further
are
insight?
ultimately up to the warden.
You feel as though it like went into your brain, and the horror of its nature shocked you so much that to your core, but you still maintain your mental state. You felt as though your sanity was at stake briefly, but you happened to dig deep into your Marine Corps training and hold it together. But
Transcendental meditation.
I was
Yes, meditation. Yeah.
meditation.
oh, that's true. Yes, of course. Yes, your meditation actually. Yes, good point.
I chopped the head off the thing too.
Put it in your bag.
Yeah, if you can figure out where the head's at, yeah, it's
Is
Well,
it
the part where the mouth was,
yeah.
Is it wearing clothes?
No. Like leathery skin, black.
So, Agda, can you stand still for just a second? I need to do a diagnostic scan on you.
Yeah, go for it, Doc.
Would you like me to roll? Is there anything fun about diagnostically scanning Agda?
You do not need to roll for a normal diagnostic on Agda.
Okay.
Your instruments are working fine. It appears that physically there doesn't seem anything wrong with Agda. Agda seems drained as far as exhaustion kind of effects. But you could tell from the movement of her eyes and the wideness of her pupils that it may be just extreme mental stress of some kind.
Did you take any health damage?
Yes.
Yes.
I took 14. 14? Yeah, 14.
Well, I know it seems like a cure-all, but pop the visor here. Painful.
What does the pain pill do for me again?
Okay.
Take 2, call him in the morning.
Tim Skittles.
Yep. So your stress lowers by 1.
Nice.
And you get back 7 health.
Okay.
And while that's going on, Dirt is gonna like look around the room and see if there's things that are missing that were here before, things that were here before that are now missing.
The room has not changed. You are still in the bridge, Dirt, and everything seems to be clean as you've been in there for the last few minutes.
And I'll stop the projection and just look around, and he's good.
All right.
Well, it's Mr. Lark. Contact has been made with the alien force.
I see that.
And they've
Very,
been vanquished.
very well done.
Do you open the door, Lark?
Yeah, I would have had to have opened it for Tim's to get out there.
Ah, gotcha. That's right.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
Yep. So the bulkhead door is open, and you see this lump of alien, something you've never seen before, slumped on the floor. Yellow goo seems to be splattered in different areas of the corridor in the
I would
bulkhead.
like to scan this with my med scanner, and specifically, I am looking to see, A, is there any human DNA? Generally thinking, did this thing eat anyone on the ship? But, hey, if I find it for some other reason, that'll be fun too.
Of course.
So would you like me to make a roll for that?
Yes, please.
That'll be fun.
Sure it's not because you want to check for hallucinogens?
It's does my biology apply here?
Sure.
All right. I'm glad my biology applies because I'm 2 points under then at making it successfully.
There is no you are not reading any indicators of human biology or DNA on this creature, and it's unknown. So the results come back, and it's like DNA unknown, material unknown, possible alien species. That's the generic when things aren't known, like.
And no one else
Foreign-
sees the display on the
Yes.
scanner, but I'll look at it and go, "You think?"
Yeah.
It's just a big question mark.
Yes. 3 question marks.
Yeah.
I also wanted to know if I could hit it with my field scanner just to see what it is made up of, and that's kind of just to have a running, maybe I'll have data later to use against them or whatever.
Yeah, man, you could do all kinds of sciencey shit. You take some samples of the yellow goo, you scan it with your scanners, you hit record and save and take all the information down. None of it is coming up as familiar or recorded in any library.
I just wanted to make sure I did some sciencey stuff with it in case later on I need to reference it.
Yeah, gotta get out a big long Q-tip, stick it up through its nose, put it in a little test tube, break off the end of it. Lark, what are you doing?
I would like to either get off of the ship or get that thing off of the ship, because how do I know it's actually dead and will stay that way?
I sort of chopped its head off.
I don't know if that kills whatever that is. This is outside of my realm of experience.
Are you going to touch it?
I think Tim's has touched it enough for everyone.
I think it actually has a nerve bundle in its chest. I mean...
Any further information, Tim's, that you would want to maybe understand better? It probably is going to require some fancier equipment, maybe a table and some bright lights. It's.
Oh, yeah. I didn't expect any immediate results. I just wanted to have something recorded.
Of course.
Well, we do have a science lab we haven't gone to yet.
We do. So we could... Just hear me out. We get this thing off the ship. We get the statue off the ship. We fix everything, and then we have a ship.
I'm not going to say that's a bad plan, Lark.
Because we kind of need one.
You're going to have to wake up the engineer, though.
But
He's still sleeping.
is this a functioning, drivable ship?
Does it have thrusters at least? So
It
we
does
can get
have
around?
thrusters. It will take a little bit of dinking around, but you, with some decent research, you could probably get this thing moving. Actually, the jump drive, I think, from the original when you guys were in the engine bay, you realized that the jump is completely hosed for some reason, but it was indeterminate the nature of why the drive was not working.
But it didn't look like sabotaged.
It did not look like sabotage.
Yeah.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
Hey, this isn't Star Trek.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
Half
we're
of
gonna
us are
need
wearing red shirts.
this ship to be able to move if we're gonna go find the profit margin. But if we're going to do that, I would like to decreepify it, starting with that thing. And then following up with whatever the statue was in the cargo bay. Like, I would like to get those off of this ship.
So as you're sitting in the hallway, you hear this loud roaring scream permeate again through the ventilation.
And whatever that is should go to.
Dirt closes the door.
That's like a loose belt, right?
Dirt, you're going to close the
That's
door
what
on the guys that are outside?
Yeah, he closes the door. He hears that. Close.
Yep, nothing like the android closing the door to your
Yeah.
only safe room.
No, we can still get him. We still got the air vent.
That's true. Dirt's not thinking of that though.
No, he's looking at the door. Close.
And we've still got grenades.
Yes, sir. Dr. Timms.
Yeah. You don't want to kill
In
me
your
anymore,
opinion,
right?
is I never wanted to kill you in the first place. Too much paperwork. Okay, now
Just wanted to get that clear. Okay.
Okay, looking at this creature, is it fully formed adult, or is what we just heard bigger?
No
I
way for
didn't
you to
hear
know.
this
Timms.
one make any noise.
Timms,
so
you
I
are
can't
allowed
really
to make up
compare.
whatever you'd like for that response.
Does it have especially big eyes like a baby thing does?
Is it cute?
Yeah, is the umbilical cord still there?
You know, there's cute babies and ugly babies. I don't know.
I was gonna say too, if Buford were more insightful, which I don't know if he is or not, but
Heck no.
he could be the Forrest Gump thing. You could be wise beyond your capacity, but me taking scientific readings of that thing is a way for me to not look at it for what it is. It is only this data in this chart right now, and the more I look at it, the more unsettled I get. So I don't even look at that when you ask me questions about it. I'm looking at the data on the pad because it's numbers right now. Numbers are okay.
Doc, I think you need another pill.
Well, yeah, but we need
Okay.
to get to the med bay and find
Start-
out if there's more pills there before I use any more of these.
Okay, is there any more of
And an
that
armory.
screaming going on? Because our
Seems-
options are hole up in the bridge again or go kill something.
Seems to be relatively quiet at the moment. Unnaturally so.
Can we... Now, we tried like scanning internally a few times and nothing came up, so we don't even know if these things give off life signs, but maybe it's worth trying that one more time. So I'm going to knock on the door and very politely ask our android friend to let us back in.
What's the secret password?
Open up, motherfucker.
I jump in the vents.
I will run. I'll run the
I'll
voice
open the door.
voice recognition scanner, and if the voice recognition scanner in my head came back positive, I'd open the door.
Your heads up display matches
scratching the door.
Eric Lark. Burp, 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 burp.
Alright,
Voice
Eric Lark.
recognition, Lark, Eric.
Open.
Just going to shake my head at him, go in.
Just
close
a
the
matter,
door.
just a matter of time before he goes off the rails, Lark. Agda?
Yeah.
I probably closed it before he was 100% of the way through.
Mhm. I would appreciate people keeping eyes on the entrances.
Did you want us to drag this thing off or no?
I've got the front door, Mr. Lark.
I hope we didn't bring the body in the bridge with us.
No, we
I closed
Okay.
it before Dr. Timms could drag it through.
I
Yeah.
was not. No, it is numbers. I took data and I am
Okay.
no longer.
So we're all in the bridge. People are watching the entrances. I would like to try to run an internal scan to see if there's anything picked up by whatever was making that noise.
Now that I have like the chemical levels and all of that from the corpse, could I potentially decipher the difference between a human life form and one of these if we scan?
And or can you specifically search the ship for the kind of
Yeah.
molecule,
Mass.
whatever? Yeah.
Well, you know, Dr. Timms, I am fluent in over 2 million forms of communication. And I did not recognize that.
Yeah, slam in the door.
So that's Dirt's 2 cents, by the way.
Yeah.
So yes, you could do an internal scan. Tim's, if you upload the data that you have from your data pad, and somebody with a decent computer skills check could probably run a subroutine so that the scans internally would be able to differentiate from human to whatever it is that was outside the bulkhead door.
Yeah. So I do the biological technobabble of,
Yes.
make sure it's looking for this concentration of these chemical compounds, and you account for the differentiation between and Tim sounds the most educated that you have ever heard him as he is feeding you this information.
Very focused. It's like finals week. Does that give me advantage, or does that just get me up to par?
I would say, sure, we'll give you advantage. Do you have hacking, by the way, Mr.
I just have computers. Our hacker is still unconscious.
Yeah, Dane's like, man, something wrong with that guy.
But
Slap.
I can do some computing.
Computer use away.
30 is a success. Not
Okay.
critical, though.
Takes a little bit longer than you would expect, but you're able to set up an internal scan. And give me another computer check.
Just regular. Okay.
So you're able to set up the scan, and it is able to do that. Now you would be attempting to make sure that you can differentiate human from whatever else that is out there.
Okay. 25 is a success.
Okay. You successfully listen to Tim's as he keeps rattling off the mumbo jumbo that he does, and you keep up after looking at him and giving a glare probably, and you manage to glean all that information, put it into the computer, and you are able to not only run a scan, but probably nail down whether it's, if you come across a life form, whether it's alien or not.
Okay. So as long as I'm near a computer terminal, I can kind of tell where this thing is.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Mr. Lark, I am a walking computer terminal.
I don't know if you are. Can we hook you up to the internal sensors? I was just thinking, like, we have the short wave, like the short range comms in our suits.
Yes, you do.
So as long as those are working and I can scan, we could send out a hunting party.
Yeah, extermination team.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
don't know
not
if
just
Agda
suggesting
and
that.
Buford would be up for that, but
I'm not just suggesting that because that leaves me here.
So have we done the scan? Have we found anything? Let's kill it.
So you run a scan, Lark.
Yeah.
All right, you run a scan, and you do sense something that is, in the, let me see, where would it be?
Where in the world is?
Oh yeah, I reload.
There is a room on the upper level. So it's kind of a split house, split ship layout. So you come in, there's a lower level, and then the bridge and everything is on its kind of middle level towards the front port, aft, starboard port. Forward, thank you. And then there's a upper level, and it's on the upper level starboard side. Where are my Navy people? Come on,
Starboard's
Marines.
Starboard is right hand side.
There you go. Right hand side.
When you're
starboard.
facing forward.
Yes.
So where we haven't explored yet?
You have
The
not
South Bay.
explored that level at all.
All right, let's go explore it, Buford.
Right.
Yeah, as
Anyone
long
want to
as
explore it with us?
I've got my sounding charges with me.
so okay. You should probably have the tablet with the schematic with you, and I can like guide you and tell you where it is if I'm able to like do that from here.
Sounds good.
And if Dirt can give us the like heads up view.
Yeah, well, exploration is my secondary function.
Perfect.
I think our goal is Buford and I will be kind of doing the full like military crawl where we go to each door and then like we check it military style and start shooting if we see something. Meanwhile, Lark is kind of telling us which hall to go down and which door to go through.
And
Right.
I will
Speaking by
monitor
hand
your,
signals.
And Dirt is about 20 feet behind you.
Oh, okay.
and I'll be
Right.
next to Lark monitoring your vitals.
So Tim and Mark are hanging out in the control room with our napping friend.
Yeah.
So Agda and Buford are going to move out, obviously. Dirt, what do you do?
I'm right behind him. I'm
Are you
going
with them?
I'm going with the way team, but I'm about at least 20, 30 feet behind them, and I stay out of danger, but I'm recording and projecting back to the away team, Eric, what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, being able to see their heads up view would be
Yeah. Dirt
great.
can
And
Dirt can route route his visuals right into the ship's main computer and right into the monitor onto the bridge.
okay.
Tim's, you going to stay on the bridge with Lark?
Yep.
I think I heard that. All right. All right. Move out, Marines. So you walk right down the hallway right outside the bridge. And the directions that are kind of conveyed to you is walk down the hallway. There's a bulkhead door that you guys have actually seen before. You open the bulkhead door, go through that. There's a lift in front of you and a couple doors to the left and right. Lark's like, go up the lift. You go up the lift and you come out into a corridor and there's a bulkhead door. And then just as that occurs, Lark, you on the scan come across a blip that you didn't notice before. It appears to be human.
Oh, joy.
At least if you did the programming correctly, it is a different signature than what you're sending Agda and Buford and Dirt to.
All right. Marines, I'm picking up something that's reading as human. Get visual on it to confirm before trying to shoot at it.
Let's send Dirt to talk with it.
Or decapitating it.
So I try to get a visual of it through the scope of my SMG.
Fair.
And Dirt will walk forward.
Okay. So where where things are conveyed to you as you come off the lift, there is where they were directing you is further down the hallway, and say, hey, if you move this far, that's where. Well, hold on a second. There's something inside the room to your left, and so there's a bulkhead door to your left. that is obviously closed. But
Does it have power?
And real quick sidetrack
Yep.
here. Now, I might be remembering incorrectly, but back when we were on the profit margin, we did a successful scan of this ship and had no signs of life. Is that correct?
as far as the captain relayed, yes.
Okay.
There was no. They just kind of wrote off the Alexis as far as
Correct.
they weren't sure, so you wanted to send you guys over and find out what's going on.
And several of us also have bioscanners, and we have not picked up anything besides the party so far. So things are kind of fucky. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, totally fucky.
Yeah.
That's.
Dirt,
Can I use that? Can I use that, Jim?
yeah,
Totally
it's
fucky.
fine.
kind of
Rate that
fucky.
shit.
No, it was kind of fucky.
I mean, they were totally fucky, and then we killed a thing, and now it's back down to just kind of.
Degrees of
there's
fucky.
there's
Love
a
it.
percentage and a color band that goes.
What is it? The RAS system? What is the old
Yeah, we're
Marvel
on-
system? Marvel
Yeah.
superheroes? What the hell is
Yeah,
Yeah, we're on.
it? What is that system now? It's gonna-
face rip.
Phase
Now-
rip.
Yeah, now we have to come up with like the fucky anagram for.
I mean, we're sitting at about 70% fucky right now. I'd say.
Nah, I say 75.
Captain Delark, status report 70% fucky, Captain. 10-4.
We'll try to get that down to 40.
You really want to keep it down there.
So
Yeah,
Agda,
below 50
Buford,
would be.
Okay, is there power to the door?
there is no power to the door.
Lark, can you power the store open for us?
I can try.
Give me a computer check, Lark. Shit's messed up on this ship for some reason.
93 is a failure.
Ah, weird. You're like, yeah, try it now.
You have to muscle it.
Here, he's like, yeah, try it now. It should work. You're sitting there waiting for it to slide open.
All right. Well, Ogda is pretty
Dirt,
sure.
you are visualizing this through, and Lark's like,
Yeah.
it's not moving.
Regardless of what it may or may not say in our
Big
character,
door turns red. Yeah.
Hey, Dirt, how strong are you anyway?
Well, I am built for exploration, not lifting. But I can lift if you would, like me to.
Ogda's pretty sure she can get the store open.
All right, Agda,
20
give me,
20
give me a strength.
22 strength.
Oh, Dirt, you're muscling in there.
Ogda's like, this door is impossible to open. Sorry, guys.
Is Buford still juiced up or no?
Yeah.
if it's still within an hour.
I hope
Buford's
it is. Otherwise,
juiced
we're
up,
out of
just
air.
hanging out in the back,
Okay, here we go.
not doing anything strength wise. Like, oh, I feel pretty buff.
Okay. Making my patch dance.
You guys got that door?
Okay.
Let me know.
56 out of 61.
All right.
You've never seen a more scrawnier android than Dirt here. Yeah.
So the bulkhead moves across and moves across, opens up with the help from Dirt and Buford, no problem, as Agda peers in.
Yeah,
It's
thank you
dark.
for loosening that.
Yeah. It's dark. And then suddenly there's the ship like tilts. And you're everybody give me a check. Give me a check. What kind of check? Give me
Body?
a body check. That's not really body.
Whatever it is, I failed it.
Yeah, as did I.
Give me a strength check.
Ooh,
Oh, strength check?
Yeah, give me strength.
All right, yeah.
Got that.
I rolled
Oh,
a
man, I
90.
got exactly-
I failed.
All right, I rolled my strength's 22 and I rolled a 22.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we doing a
You
body
succeeded.
and a strength check or just a strength
Just
check?
a strength check, please.
Okay.
Yeah, 23 made
I
it.
failed mine handily.
So those that fail
Buford's still on his 2 feet.
fall prone. Everybody else, maintains their.
So is it a fail if you roll your number?
No, but you rate out 22 Dirt, right?
Yeah, my strength's 22 and I rolled a 22.
That's a crit.
That's a crit success.
You are so upright.
Equal to or lower Dirt.
That's those mag boots I put on earlier.
Is his crit success
Yeah.
that he caught me from falling?
I
I
guess if
think
he wants
Ogda
to.
would crush him.
Dirt, you gonna try to save Ogda as she stumbles?
No, I just like to look down at my mag boots and go, "These things are amazing." No, yes,
Hey, Jeff, you can lead the horse to water, buddy, but I don't know what else to tell you.
I'm gonna roll for speed here. I'm gonna roll for my speed's
for
not
speed.
better than my speed's not better than my strength.
That's all right. If you roll speed, you can catch Ogda.
Crap, that's a 10. That is a 50, and I fail.
You fail.
Yeah,
You try to catch Ogda, and she slips through your hands and falls on the floor.
You did take a minute to look at your boots.
Yeah, you see these boots?
Yeah,
Like,
meanwhile,
you're looking
Buford's
at your boots.
around-
You're like, oh, hey, wait, hold on a second. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, shit. You okay?
Yeah,
Hey, are you okay?
I'm fine, thank you.
So the ship can't, tilts quite dramatically, and it feels as if it was the same tilt that happened when the Alexis got ripped, or the profit margin got ripped off the Alexis. So it's some similar jolt to the entire ship.
Were we hit by something? They said
I
they were
think-
hit.
I think we're being docked.
Is something firing at us?
Like you
Oh,
know,
we got
run a scan.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm-
Those guys don't know what's going on.
Yeah. As soon as I can stand up, I will try to
You stand up. Yep, no problem.
scan.
You
I
people sure fall down a lot.
I'll assist anybody who needs help standing.
Nah, I'm fine. Still,
I'll turn my boots on and scan, I guess, computers.
Sure.
23 is a success.
All right. It seems as though you're running in the same internal scan as you're doing that. There seems to be a puncture of some kind in the, what's the opposite of starboard? Port side of the ship, where would be the same side that the profit margin docked on. And so there is a what would be a breach into the armor of into the side of the Alexis. Like you see the outline of the ship, and there's like this big red weird star thingy that's blinking in the side of the ship.
okay. Is there
Okay.
a puncture kit anywhere around?
I mean, you guys are up on the top deck. I'm guessing this is down on the bottom deck.
It is on the lower deck. Yep.
Near the airlock.
It's
okay.
actually right on the wall of what would be the cryo chamber.
All right, Marines and Dirt, what's your status?
10-4, everybody. We're
Fine and
we're
dandy.
doing okay.
We're doing fine. I'm looking
As I-
around and I'm
Is it
trying to
locked up?
do I see the human?
You do not see the thing that Lark sees on the sensors at this
Mark,
point.
there's nothing in here.
It's dark, very dark.
Okay. Could be a faulty sensor then. Looks like something punctured the hole near the airlock on the bottom deck, but we should probably figure out what that other life sign on the top deck was before trying to check that out.
And as you're talking, Lark, you see the other weird dot bleep, and it's starting to go across the ship towards the Marines. Bleep,
And I've got my headlamp on.
bleep.
Yeah. So it seems to be coming towards you.
I don't see nothing, Mark.
Okay, brace and get ready. Crash
I'll
down,
try to
make a
give
smaller
them-
target.
I'll try to give them a heading and like distance.
Okay.
And I've got my SMG pointed in that direction.
And I
Same
take
here.
out my rigging gun.
Everybody give me another strength check as the ship tends to get rocked one more time. This time it seems to be almost like an inertia. My God,
Inertial?
pulling the ship out
Okay.
from underneath your feet,
Like we're getting towed.
like you're getting pulled for some reason.
This
Okay.
time I
Some
crit
way.
succeeded.
All right.
I
I
succeeded that time.
I
Before it
failed.
falls.
I failed.
Ow!
If you have mag boots, roll with advantage, please.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I failed. No, that's a 19.
Oh no, I'm fine.
I
I'm fine,
succeeded.
yeah. I'm okay.
This was a strength check.
Yes.
I still failed with advantage.
I did a little like surfing
Since I
thing, and then I'm
succeeded
good.
with a crit, I'll try to catch dirt.
You don't want to look at your boots?
Those
It's pretty nice of you, Agda.
are some pretty boots. Right?
Give me a speed check, Agda.
I failed.
Awesome. Dirt, you're on the floor.
Boom.
Like, hey, check out my boots. Oh, shit. Sorry, Dirt.
Dirt on the floor.
You have my same boots.
Let's sweep up the
So-
dirt. Okay.
I didn't get a chance to say this before. I was going to say I was still sitting on the floor, just like with my hands behind my head. But since I made the strength check, I mean, as soon as the thing rocked, I just like I rode it upwards
Just like bopped up. Whoop.
and then hit the mag boots so that I'm like standing straight up now.
You're like completely shocked at yourself. Like you don't even
Looking at Lark like,
wondering if anybody saw you do it. Like, so Lark, yeah, the force is being like pulled from that breach position. You could tell by the tilt of the ship as you're trying to also keep the Marines informed of what's going on. There's that the beep actually was going in their direction is now shifted and has started to go towards the port side of the ship and down and so then it starts the beep and then it was going in a particular direction, right, towards the Marines, and then it stops, but it's still moving. And then it goes towards the port side.
All right. It changed direction heading port.
Hey, Lark.
Yes.
Is that thing that rammed into us what's pulling us?
I am assuming so. So we are like getting pulled to that direction, like the direction of the airlock, right? It seems like.
Yes.
Are we also being? Can we tell? Well, I mean, I know that Agda and Buford can't tell, but can Lark and Tim's tell? Does it look like we're being pulled towards the moon like the other one?
Yes.
Hey, Lark, should we have our Marines blow up that thing that just rammed into our ship?
Very possibly, yes. All right, Agda, whatever that thing is up there is moving away from you, and we are getting pulled towards the moon. So maybe we should go take a. By we, I mean you, if that's okay. Go down to the airlock and see what it is that's got a hold of us.
All right, we'll kill it.
So Agda and Buford and Dirt, as you're kind of listening to Lark and the tilting of the ship, and you catch your kind of catch yourselves from falling onto the floor, checking your mag boots, like, hey, check out my mag boots. There, you can see like a figure underneath. So it looks like when you enter this room, it's like there's a table and then there's a seat that goes around kind of along the wall, bordering the table. And in the corner, there's a counter with some cabinetry. And then there's an entryway into that kind of little behind. It's kind of like a bar, right? There's a kind of a stand structure with a tabletop that's relatively high. And then in order to walk behind that, there's the figure kind of rolls out into that entry space. So if you've ever bartended, they have the bar back area, right? The bartenders can go back and forth and be out of the bar. That's where this figure kind of rolls out because of the jolt of the ship. And you see them there. It appears human, but it's very dark.
Freeze!
Permission to engage.
Identify yourself.
Dirt, go
is-
check it out.
So it's dark. You can't make out any of the features.
Got our headlamps on.
Oh, you do have the headlamp.
Sure.
As soon as you move the headlamps over, you see the legs of it's a human legs. Seems adult size, maybe a little bit smaller. And as you like Ghostbuster your headlamps over there, you see their hands go up and say,
Uh,
Identify yourself.
Dirt advances and is like, I'm seeing some scared individuals that I recognize what they're saying.
We come in peace.
shoot to kill.
Kill me now.
It's a
Dr. Timms, do you want us to bring these survivors to you? Question them?
I'll survivor.
Survivor.
Is it one?
It's one. Is it one?
yes,
Okay.
only one.
Okay.
I mean, I really want to take a look at the survivor, but at the same time, I think maybe we need to quit being towed before.
So, okay, how's this? You guys need to get down to the airlock. We're on the way. If you can bring whoever that is down here and drop them off at the bridge, we will keep an eye on them.
All right. I point my gun at the person. I say, get up. Stand up.
And so as you get closer and you kind of bark orders at this individual, it appears to be a female human, coveralls, dirt and smudge on their face. Eyes seem to be very wide open, very nervous, trepidatious. You can obviously make out that she's quite scared and full of fear at this point.
Stand up. We'll get you to safety. Get moving. Stand up.
Dirt will offer a hand, like Dirt here for service, and please let me help you up. But at the same time, he's looking at her eyes and trying to see if there's any kind of, like, if they start going haywire, he might be freaked.
Hey, Timms, how are you for sedatives right now?
Excuse me.
Let's see. I've got
He's great.
got 3 more pain pills. Then we really need to scavenge that med bay at some point.
Okay.
And if
Just
possible,
wondering
I would like to maneuver around to her back so I can start poking her in the back with my rifle to kind of get her, start goading her in the right direction.
I'm just, in case we have to trank her.
And I'm looking for life signs and eyeballs.
So Dirt, you can make her out. Everybody obviously sees that she's a female. Like I said, clothed, dirty face, hair back and like what appears to be some kind of ponytail looking thing, and scared beyond belief, puts up her hands and is moving slowly in the direction that Agda is poking and prodding her.
Pick up your speed, Missy.
What happened? How did you end up here?
She doesn't say anything.
Lark, this is taking forever. Permission to drink.
I keep looking at her eyes,
Whatever you got to do, Ogda.
fixated.
Agda tranks her.
Okay.
If you didn't, we were probably going to.
So does that put her out completely? Is that what you're attempting to do?
I believe that's what it does.
Okay. All right.
If it's the trank pistol, save or fall unconscious for 1d10 rounds.
Okay. She doesn't see it coming. You plop right through the coveralls and slumps to the floor like a
Grab the
sack
girl.
of potatoes.
So we're going to drop her off at command and then head on down to the breach.
Yeah, I don't have the strength to carry her, so I'm just dragging her.
I'm still pumped. No problem.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I've got her
Throw
by
her
the
over your shoulder, Buford,
Yep.
That works too. Yeah.
or
No, that's great.
in the cradle, I guess.
They do the cradle thing. Hey, I always wanted to do this.
It's like in the movies.
Yep. The creature from the Black Lagoon.
All right. You guys attempt to go back to the bridge then?
Yeah.
All right. You're going back to the bridge.
Yeah.
Tim's, what are you doing? You're on the bridge with Lark.
Well, I have the stun baton that I also have in my pack out just in case.
Of course.
Yeah.
Is that to
And-
stun yourself? Like,
think.
Yep.
Also, in case she's hysterical when she wakes up. So,
If it too many pain pills, he likes to stun himself back awake.
right. Feeling dozy.
if you hit that perfect balance, like it actually jolts you completely awake. It's great. Anyway. Oh, goodness.
Buster.
Oh,
Oh,
Dirt.
no.
Where'd you go? Lost, and then I moved everybody around.
Yep.
I'm Tim's.
All right, I'm back. I'm back.
No.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
I
What
hit the
just
wrong.
happened?
I hit the wrong button. It was my bad.
Oh no.
Now you're
Now poor
Buford.
Sean, all the things are out of order.
Oh man, I gotta move everybody around. This is easier than it's all right.
Actually, I have to take a quick step away from the camera for a moment.
Fair enough, no problem, Jeff. Anybody else gotta take a break? It's okay if you do. Want to get water? So
I was just trying to mute myself, and all of a sudden, I screwed everything up.
all right. I
Just need to mute myself. Control Alt Delete.
Delete.
I'm sure.
That's how
I
they told me to do it.
I'm sure I can't do a very good job of it with everything else going on, but I do want to try to keep an eye on wherever that blip is that was up on the upper deck.
of course.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if you want me to roll for this now or not, but I wanted to scan her to make sure, see if I pick up anything abnormal in her physiology.
Yeah, go ahead and you can scan, no problem.
All right. Does biology count?
Sure.
If we're taking a break, I'll be back in 1 second.
All right, Dirt.
You can't see too well, Doc. You've got that chest burster in your way.
So, yeah, that is a 15. So I scanned the crap out of her.
Nothing physically wrong with her. Your first instinct, given vitals are all normal, besides a heightened heart rate, pulse is high, blood pressure's fine and normal, no temperature or fever. You suspect, given her reaction, probably there are elements or symptoms of shock that are probably that come up on your scanner, and that's probably what you would conclude.
So she's physically stable, right?
Yes. Yep.
She's
Other
getting a
than the
painful.
fact that she's been like zonked out.
She's getting a pain pill so that when she wakes up, whatever her current stress level is, it's one lower.
Okay.
Hey, check in my bag.
The ship is now, it feels like it is actually in physical motion being pulled towards the planet.
Yeah.
Can I get her into my old hazard suit?
Sure.
I know it's not like void ready, but at least it's got air in it and it might seal her off because I still think there might be hidden pathogens in the air.
All right. So you suit her up in a vac suit of some kind?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
She's
I mean, there's spares around.
yeah, there's spares
Well,
out.
I don't. Okay. Yeah. Well, if there's a full vac suit, I'll put her in one of those. I just didn't know if we had collected an extra one of those for me to put her in.
So would Lark be able to tell if getting the thrusters online is a thing he can do from the bridge or not?
Probably have to go to engineering and
Okay.
do some engineering stuff.
Because even if we stop whatever's pulling us, we're going to keep moving.
Inertia.
Yeah.
I took some physics classes.
Newton's first law.
Let's see. Lark. You can tell, Lark, given your background, that you from her uniform and her some from a patch. She's probably a part of the engineering staff of the Alexis.
Okay. We
Get
might
the,
need to
get
wake
the
her up before too
engineering,
long.
the engineering
got an engineer.
insignia. And then
Okay.
right above like her left breast like pocket, it says shallot on it.
Shallot. Okay. We'll probably have to wake her up before too long, but I kind of want to wait for the Marines to take care of whatever is towing us, if possible.
Okay.
Not that I'm doubting you.
How fast do those cargo lifters move?
I mean, I don't know if you're gonna win any races, a drag race, but they'll move cargo pretty quickly. So I
Just
think,
thinking in case
yeah,
we
go
have to
ahead.
do some hand to hand.
So where we at?
So as far as I know, you guys have made your way back to the bridge with
Right.
with the human woman.
We've dropped her off.
Dropped her off.
And
Lark.
now we're on our way to the breach.
All right. So you make your way
Okay.
out the. Go ahead, Buford.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I was just asking
Okay.
for future reference in case we need it.
Dirt, are you there? Dirt, come in, Dirt. Earth to Dirt. Oh, he's there. Look at that. Oh my God, that's awesome. Are you going with the Marines, Dirt?
He was just taking a nose picking
I'm
break.
surprised he can hear me without his headphones on. He must hear me like Dirt, Dirt, Dirt. Are you there?
I can't believe how loud these headphones are. I heard you when I was upstairs.
That's just
Man.
me.
Yeah, I'm going with the Marines, but I am staying. First of all, I'm helping the human, and I'm really fixated on her eyeballs for some reason.
Of course.
So as long as they don't change, I'm okay with everything.
Well, so she's zonked out. Lark and Tim's have Tim's
They
is
sedated her.
run a scan on her, and
Mhm.
Lark is okay. They put her in a vac suit, and Agda and Buford are taken off.
I'll head back out with the Marines.
Okay, so you guys go down the hallway again, and hit the bulkhead door at the end of the hall, and then you come to the lift, and then you go down, and the lift comes out right where you docked originally with the profit margin.
Mag boots on.
Mag boots on, and you hear, and Lark, you see the blip come on the scanner again.
Near them,
Mag
near
boots
us.
off. Mag boots off.
Making their way towards the area that they are heading to. It's kind of like going like this. Like,
Okay. Agda and Buford, heads up. That blip is approaching your location again, and I'll try to give them a heading.
Okay. So my gun is at the ready, and I'm hoping to kind of beat it to the intersection and flip around the corner and shoot it.
so Agda and Buford and Dirt, we don't care about you because you're not.
I
Even,
pull up.
you're
No,
not-
I pull up my brass knuckles. I put my brass knuckles on.
for this purpose, it doesn't matter. Agda and Buford, though, are you guys in a vac suit or are you okay? Vac suit.
Yeah, we're
everything
vac
on?
suited.
All right, so you got the.
Yeah, because we're headed toward a breach in the hull.
And
Oh, question: do bullets work
Answer.
in vacuum?
do what? Work in
Do
vacuum?
bullets work in vacuum?
Maybe.
It's a sci-fi movie. I'll say yes.
All right.
Okay.
Agda says yes. Yeah, I used it last time on that one mission. Of course they do, Buford. Don't be silly. You
Well,
think this
I
is
don't know if
real
they're-
life?
I don't know if they're sealed or anything.
And you walk your way down the corridor, and you hear the thumps coming through the ventilation shafts and entering the hallway very faintly.
and I can see the area where it's coming from, but it's in the shaft above us. Is that right?
It seems to be coming from the starboard side, which would be your left as you're walking down the hallway.
Hey,
Okay.
Dirk, can you
According
scan
to what
anything?
Lark is telling you, it's like, he's to your left. Like, can't you see him? And like, it's kind of, there's still a bit of a distance. I would say probably 60 feet away yet.
But I should be able to see it at this point, right? But I'm not.
You cannot see him. You're in a very narrow corridor, and if it's coming from your left, it would have to be coming either across the ceiling or through the cargo bay.
Dirt would like to stop if he couldn't see anything and run like a scan.
And Dirt, you get this information obviously from Lark. You're all on the same comm channel, so you just don't get the breathing effect.
Yeah. I'm like, huh? I'm like, I can't see anything. I'll stop and I'll check. So I'm probably like 30 feet behind them and stop and I check the.
Bioscanner?
Yeah.
And then the dot stops moving, Lark.
So it's just holding position or it disappears?
Nope, it's just stopped moving. It's still on your it's still on the readout that you have.
All right. It's
So, Sean, the one thing I'm still not understanding, I understand that I can't see it,
Correct.
but my question is, should I be able to see it?
No, not yet. Not
Okay.
Not it's at a Lark's like it's to your left, but you were like there's a wall here that
I
goes into the cargo bay. So you would not physically be able to see it, but it's not far away. It's not like across the
It's in the
ship.
cargo bay, though.
Right. As far as you can tell.
Okay.
Well, in that case, why don't they just open the door?
I'm
Yeah.
not above doing that.
Do it.
Do it.
If I'm able to open that cargo bay door, I will do that.
All right.
Mag boots on.
Same ones you were wearing before?
Oh yeah,
They're beautiful.
they're colorful.
All right. Give me a computer check.
I failed it.
So you are trying to get the systems up and running. There's still some parts of the ship where the computer is just ineffective. Things are a bit of a mess. You're not sure why. You start doing some subroutines, hitting a few buttons, and typing in to the terminal.
Okay.
And you hit, yeah, here we go, baby. And you hit the enter button and nothing happens.
All right, Agda, it's in the cargo bay. I tried to open the doors, but they're not responding. But it stopped moving. It's hanging out in there.
Okay, this is a full bulkhead wall. Is this a full bulkhead wall?
Sure.
Great, so we can throw grenades in there and it's not going to kill us.
It's only half bulk.
By Beaufort's reasoning, doesn't seem completely unreasonable.
All right. So let's go ahead and throw open the door to the cargo bay and start throwing some grenades at it.
All right.
Is this a grenade bearing wall?
We're just
It
about
will
to
be.
find out.
All right.
Where's the nearest entrance to the cargo bay?
Which is not too far from you. It's about 20 feet down the hallway, and you can go ahead and attempt to open that sucker up and
All right.
chuck in a couple grenades.
I'll go ahead and try to use my crowbar to get it open.
Strength check.
And I succeed.
All right. Agda pries the door open and pulls it across. Beaufort.
Okay, if it's open, I toss in a couple of grenades.
All right. Dirt.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Agda.
I'd at least like to see if there's something there and moving that I can throw my grenade at.
You look in the room, and it doesn't seem that you can see anything other than what you've seen before. Cargo movers, that weird statue, but everything seems to be relatively dormant inside the cargo room.
I throw my grenades by the weird statue.
Okay. Buford.
I just toss mine. I figure the concussion will stun whatever is there, and then we
Sure.
can waste it.
Chuck them in there. Dirt, what do you do?
I'm gonna move back a little bit farther from everybody, maybe towards the next door. Stop and do another self-diagnostics check.
We're gonna find another door to seal them off in.
Okay. Did you go into another room, did you say?
I walked back towards the door to the next room, but I have not opened it or left them yet.
So the
Yeah.
Agda and Buford walked past the cryo chamber door.
I'll probably by the cryo chamber
Yeah.
door.
You want to go in the cryo chamber or no?
I'm just waiting to see what happens, but I'm ready to open that door.
Okay. So the Buford, Agda open the door, chuck in a few grenades.
Yep.
A few explosions are heard throughout the ship, actually. The grenades make a good amount. I gotta change the keyword to my Alexa. The explosions go off and are heard throughout the ship, the Alexis. Then it seems to go silent.
Lark, do you still see blips?
John, do I still see blips?
You do not. You do not see the blips.
I see no blips.
All right, coast is clear.
Oh,
Good
good.
enough.
Well, hoorah!
We're still getting tugged by something, so we might want to head over to that airlock if it's all clear there.
Yep,
Do you want us to do a thorough check if you're first, or should we go straight to the airlock?
Use your discretion. You're the one on the scene.
All right.
I think we should go check.
We should go check what? The room?
Check inside there. Make sure there's nothing. Make sure there's nothing creep up behind us.
Great. So Ogden and Buford will go in and do a quick sweep of the room.
Is that statue still
cargo
present?
chamber or the cryo
Yeah.
chamber?
Cargo.
Cargo room. Okay. Chucked in grenades. Boom. Guys go in there. Full SWAT action.
Yep.
Lights flashing around. Seems to be relatively quiet. There doesn't seem to be any movement that you could detect. It
No
seems
pieces of anything.
it doesn't. No, it doesn't appear so. There's like a piece of there's a cargo hauler that's just like in pieces that have blown off. Metal that's hit the floor. But also keep in mind that there were also some pieces from like what appeared to be wood crate that were seemed to have come from where the statue was and burst out. And then there's some material that probably came from a cargo hauler, or some additional boxes had blown up in crates that guys have disintegrated.
And do we see any blood, gore, or viscera from our explosions?
You do not.
Check the ceiling.
So there were bodies in there before,
Correct.
but maybe it got cleaned like the bridge did because
Booga booga.
Yeah, Dirt to Marine team. Is that statue still there?
Yes.
And check the room thoroughly because that's where I found these cool mag boots.
That's right. We should get a pair for the engineer, huh?
There is some remains of bodies that you guys had basically grenaded. So there's like an arm and our leg here. Probably not wholly
Okay, they're
clean in this room.
okay.
I don't think I
Okay.
need to collect any of those.
Nah, they're good and dead.
So onward, breach.
Yeah, unless we want to open the door here and shove the statue out.
we're getting towed by something.
Okay.
All right, we're going to the breach.
All right. So you go to where you think the breach is, which would probably be the cryo chamber. You open up the door and there's a huge like hole in the wall that seems to be filled with this metal structure of some kind. It almost looks like you've heard of them in the past where there were these big seafaring adventures, on planets that had bodies of water. And in order to keep the ships from moving, they would have these things called anchors. But it seems a little bit more than that, but it's something maybe there's also in the same situation things that would have been similar in the primitive days of harpoons with this big, huge metal, it's 10 by 15 feet that is basically
Garbage.
breached the side of the ship and lodged itself into the hull.
So almost like a giant grappling hook or something.
Indeed.
We got harpooned by moon pirates. That is awesome.
I've asked you.
And so there is, as you open the cryo chamber, there is a vacuum that is sucking through this hole, right? It's not completely sealed. It's not also completely open. So all the remnants of in the cryo chamber seem to be sucking up into this hole. Some of it escaping out into the dead of space. Some of it, basically plastering itself up against the wall where the seal is not complete. And it's this source that is probably pulling your ship in a
Is
particular
it possible
direction.
to explode around the hole where it's got us enough so that it loses its grip on us with our grenades?
It would take quite a bit of time. The grenades aren't going to be effective as much as maybe some really good laser torches. You're
Or
talking
cargo
like
hauler.
I mean, I have a laser cutter if I need to get down there.
a laser cutter, but you're talking you need something industrial strength. Like this would be something where, if you were to go into a docking bay for repair, they would bring out some super materials to like seal this up. Grenades, you could attempt to do that. It's because of the same reason the grenades didn't penetrate the cargo hold. It would be the same reasons this isn't going to penetrate the hull of the ship. In order to,
I mean, for what it's worth, a laser cutter can do 1 mega damage against structures.
1 mega damage.
It's the big
So
fucking
grenades.
cutter.
Holy shit! Apparently, I thought it was like this little freaking gun thingy. Like
No. It takes a full minute to reach, like a round to recharge after you use it. Like
Wow.
it's a cutting tool for like cutting apart ships. I think.
Gotcha.
Would you like us to run up there and grab your laser cutter, Lark, and try to do this?
That, or I can head down to you.
It's up to you, buddy.
Is it something that with our mag boots we could physically pry apart?
If grenades aren't going to do it, I don't think our hands will.
These are really good boots. Okay, I will.
Dirt? No.
I'm just thinking that I might be able to go. I'm not a strong android, but
Okay.
Yeah, we have a hard time prying doors open.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
We've got the
Okay.
cargo haulers.
Sure.
Tim's, I'm going to head down there
Yeah.
and help with excavation.
All right, I got a patient, so I'll hold down the fort.
Okay.
So how about this? While Lark is bringing down his laser cutter, Buford and I can go check and see if any of those cargo haulers are still intact.
Okay.
and I would secure the scene.
That would also be your opportunity to use one of those cargo holders to get the creepy statue off the ship. Not that that's our most pressing problem right now.
That thing isn't doing anything. I don't know.
Go to
Scientifically,
the
there's no reason to freak out over a statue.
go to the hole. Get rid of
That
the
had
statue. Go to the hole.
people with their faces pressed to it, dead. No reason.
Not anymore.
We have no proof they were over there.
That's true.
That's why I'm obsessed with eyeballs, man.
All right.
I
So
thought it was just one of your charms.
so we have Lark on the bridge currently.
On his way
Tim-
down.
Tim's and Lark, you're coming down.
I'm going down there with my laser cutter.
Oh boy. Okay.
Split the party.
Oh yeah, I am totally ready for me and my patient to get murdered.
Tim's gonna stay on the bridge.
Yep, I got a patient. I got to keep
Nothing
an eye
could
on her.
possibly go wrong up there.
Nope.
Tim's alone with a sleeping dude and a tranked woman.
In a room that used to have bodies in it that don't have bodies
Yep.
anymore.
Oh, yeah, you'll be
Yep.
fine. Just wake up Jackson if you need anything.
But the upside is
Was
there's fewer
Jackson
people-
ever really here though?
That's a good point.
Hey, you guys
Oh,
remember
wow.
there being another Teamster here, right?
Who's this Jackson you keep speaking of?
Yeah, Ogda, where'd you get that crowbar then?
Huh.
The nice thing is I don't automatically give as many people stress if I'm here by myself though.
Just gonna stress out your patient.
Yes.
So Buford and Ogda, you're gonna stay down in the cryo chamber for now or no?
No, we're going to the cargo
No,
bay
cargo
to see if
bay.
we can pick up any of those cargo haulers.
Okay. All right. And Dirt, what are you doing there, my android friend?
I'm securing the scene. I'm waiting for Lark to come down.
All right.
And checking out my cool boots.
Who's monitoring the system on the bridge?
I will do it as best that I can.
The engineer who's unconscious.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, Tim's.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there, and then a dot appears on the monitor.
Hey, guys, dot. We got a dot.
Near you or us?
And that's where we'll finish.
Oh, awesome.
I think this is a good spot to end, I would think.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. Maybe not. We'll just
Now
go with it.
I really am wondering if we had a second Teamster.
I am wondering this. Yeah.
Where will he appear?
Can you replay the footage?
Oscar
Yeah.
the head.
When we had a moment, I was going to check, ask Dirt to check if we had someone with us.
Is there another Teamster with us? Yeah.
I guess it depends on if Jeff shows up next time.
Yeah. We just might have imagined it.
So having said that, one thing I want to double check with you guys, because when I first brought this up, I thought, well, we'll play like a 4-session game and we'll go through this and then we'll kind of wrap things up. And that's what I still plan on doing. But obviously it's going past 3 or 4 sessions. So I want to make sure that everybody's still good with meeting every other Thursday. And if not, that's okay. Just let me know. I don't think I set the duration appropriately to everybody. So I just want to make sure. Everybody all right so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm still in.
All right. You guys are still alive. So I was
I don't know.
hoping,
Yeah.
I mean, when Jeff said in session 0, like, hey, TPK, like, I would be, this will be like a couple of sessions. We'll be done. We'll move on to the next thing. And
I am so proud of our Marines.
these guys are machines, aren't they?
Yeah.
No damage here.
I think there's damage all around. We just don't see it yet.
We're all actually dead.
Different.
Let's get the Lark. He's still sitting at a 6 on the stress.
I only got 4.
7. I got a 7 stress.
Don't you break.
I started
This
at
is-
7, but now I'm down to
I'm cooler than the android.
Yeah. I helped bring the Ogda stress down.
The
We
beauty,
really need to hit that med bay for more pain pills, though.
the beauty of this is we've recorded it. So when we pick up next time, I'll be able to remember exactly where we left off.
That's why you should put it in podcast form so I can listen to it.
Keep you up to date, Dan.
Yeah. Let me know what's happening.
I'll see what I can do. Might be a few episodes behind. So,
Yeah. That's not going to help me.
well, it's part of the experience.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks so much for joining. Thanks, everybody that joined us tonight in the chat room. We really appreciate it. We'll be back in another couple weeks, 8 p.m. Central Time. See what happens to the crew of the Profit Margin as they figure out what's going on while they're on the Alexis, which is, who's the woman they rescued? What are these creepy things going through the ship? And why are they being pulled towards the moon?
And
for
why did
God's
we
sakes,
space the bodies?
why'd you space the bodies? What happened to the Alexis or the Profit Margin?
And did we have a crew of 6 or were we always 5?
Was Jackson Dane ever actually a member of the party?
Will Ogda get her groove back?
When did Ogda leave her?
These questions and more when you tune in on the next episode of Mothership, the RPG.
Thanks,
Yeah,
all.
we're